Law enforcement of America, and we are standing here to scream for justice to what we look at as harassment and illegal closure of a business that means so much to the Mount Vernon community and other communities, especially the West Indian and Jamaican communities throughout Westchester County and some parts of New York City. This business here was shut down illegally, and they went to court, and the judge, Susan Cacace, ordered the locks off, and then they came back yesterday and shut down the yard again. People are here to voice their support for OK Freddy's, and it's just not OK Freddy's. If they could do this to OK Freddy, they could do this to anybody's business. They could do this to a senior's home who does not have the financial capability to fight back or the know-how to fight back. So we need to stop this here and today, and we need to move forward on real accountability and transparency of city government. Today we have, speaking in support of OK Freddy's, is Karen Edmondson, former NAACP president of Yonkers, Councilwoman Roberto Puzo, Councilman Andre Wallace, Dr. Robert Baskerville, community activist, and Q English, senatorial candidate of the 36th District. And first we will start off with Councilwoman Roberto Puzo.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you all for coming out. Let me just say that the shutting down of a business is very, very serious. It not only affects the life of the business owner, but their families, their employees, that most employees are living day to day just as the owner is. As you can see from this community, this is not one of the wealthiest communities that we have. I have been walking the streets of 4th Avenue for over 25 years. I know what this community needs, and I know how much this business means to the welfare of 4th Avenue. I also know how hard Freddie has been working to build up his store. He has given life to so many people that are working for him, for his employees that haven't had jobs and he was able to employ. So all I can say is that I seriously question the due process. Had there been violations given and they went undone, then maybe I could think about this twice. But this has not been the case. There has not been due process. And the building department did not come here issuing violations, giving them a time frame to take care of the violations. This has been going on, and it has started something in the community of Mount Vernon that is absolutely uncalled for, and it has to be changed. And that's why I am here in support of any business that is shut down without the due process. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Next we have Councilman Andre Wallace.
Thank you, Danny. I just want to say I'm standing here with OK Freddy and the other businesses in our community to actually get rid of this form of domestic terrorism that is actually being placed upon our community. I think it's wrong. I think this administration has stepped over its boundaries. I think that they're threatening people in this community. They're scaring people into what they want them to do. It's a form of intimidation, and it has no place in our community. This is an ongoing situation that we have addressed time and time again, and it seems like the administration doesn't understand and they don't get it. But we will be vigilant behind these businesses to make sure that they get due process and that things are followed in the right procedures by the law and by the charter in which the city runs. I'm not going to say much more than that, But I will say this, okay? We cannot go around bullying the people in the community. That has to stop, and it has to stop immediately. Thank you.
Next, we have Karen Edmondson, former NAACP president of Yonkers.
Good morning. It's been a while since I've been in the public eye, so you must know that I've been compelled to come and speak here today in support of not only OK Freddy and the business, but the general community. And unbeknownst to many, even though I'm from Yonkers, I am Jamaican and a proud Jamaican. And the people in the Jamaican community come to patronize this business, not only from Mount Vernon. So this affects people from Yonkers and throughout Westchester. I'm concerned about what looks like an obvious land grab, and I'm questioning the motive of the city in exercising this illegal shutdown of this business. And in my experience, in my community activism, when I've called for local support, whether it's the Westchester County District Attorney's Office or local law enforcement, I've never really received true support. So I would like to call, in conjunction with my friend Damon Jones, for federal oversight of the practices that are occurring here in Mount Vernon. The feds need to come into Mount Vernon and look at the practices. You cannot illegally shut down a business without due process. So I need the feds to look at the motives. Is there a greedy developer in the background that obviously wants this block? I don't know. That's a thought of mine that I'd like the feds to look into. So I want the people of Mount Vernon and other business owners to know that this could happen to your business as well. Someone can't just come and roll up and shut down your business. You have to go to court and you have to follow the procedures. So be aware and be alert and stand unified, because there are outside interests at work here. I can tell. You guys have probably never seen this sort of gangster tactics before, but you have to stand united, put pressure on your new mayor, who seems to be teetering, and let him know you can't just do this in this community. He's from here. He can't allow outsiders to come in and influence these illegal actions. Thank you.
Next, we have Q English, who is a community activist, but she's also a candidate for the Senate of the 36th District, right here in Mount Vernon.
Thank you, Damon. So what we're really dealing with here is unjust, unlawful practices. And you can't create change in a community built upon unjust and unlawful practices without reaping havoc. And that is exactly what this process is doing. It's wreaking havoc on this community. And I think the message that we want to send is that we're not going to stand idly by and not bring this to light over and over again until justice is served. And I think the thought process is that after a moment of time, we'll all disappear and they will prevail. But I feel like we're all standing here united saying that the only thing that will prevail is justice for OK Freddy.
That's right.
And it's not only justice for this establishment, but it's a justice for all the establishments that lines the street and for the future justices of Mount Vernon at large. So we're standing here together, and the message is we're not going away until justice prevails. Thank you.
Next up, we have Dr. Robert Baskerville.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today to express solidarity with the proprietors of Freddy's OK Market and all the other businesses and individuals in the city of Mount Vernon who have felt victimized by the arbitrary governance that we see coming out of the administration of Richard Thomas. Unfortunately, this latest closure of OK Freddy's represents a part of a pattern of violations of the city charter, which, as many of us who have followed Mount Vernon politics knows, began with the appointment of individuals who do not reside in the city of Mount Vernon, thus in violation of the charter, the hasty raising of the building on Park Avenue and now, again in apparent violation of due process, the illegal closure of OK Freddy's. We all are united around the idea that in order for Mount Vernon to run efficiently and fairly, that everyone must adhere to the rule of law, including the administration that is now in City Hall. We'd like to ask everyone to join with us to insist that City Hall adhere to the rule of law so that we can ensure fairness and efficiency both in our government and in the local economy. Thank you very much.
In closing, as a person that has 25 years in law enforcement and has traveled the country speaking on law enforcement accountability and responsibility to the community and through government, we have never seen before that Mayor Thomas will allow a Deputy Commissioner, Joseph Spezio, to run around with a badge and a jacket that says Deputy Commissioner and not be on record in the clerk's office as a Deputy Commissioner of the law. He is impersonating law enforcement, and it does a disservice not just to the Mount Vernon community, not just the greater Westchester community, but the Mount Vernon police officers that put their lives on the line every day for this city. To have someone giving orders, to have someone influencing the mayor and the commissioner on policies and procedures he's not even trained for, and he's not even recorded in the city as being a deputy commissioner. This is shame. Shame on you, Richard Thomas, to allow this and to subject the people that voted for you for change to illegal activity like this. Our organization, we have written the DA's office, the Attorney General's office, and United States Attorney's office to investigate Joseph Spezio in impersonating law enforcement. Thank you, sir. And on Wednesday, we will be going to the DA's office to follow up our letter to make sure that there is an investigation and there's true transparency in the city government and Mount Vernon Police Department. 1 second, sir. Does the press have any questions?
Yeah.
I have to speak.
So, and
They don't want me to
sum it up
speak?
in
So you want me to have this shirt on
sum it
for?
up in one quick short sound.
Yeah?
What is it you guys want?
Well, we want to call for accountability. We really need oversight coming from either the district attorney, the attorney general, or the U.S. attorney. And truthfully so, politics plays a role. So we're really looking for the U.S. attorney to come in and actually investigate this, because we don't want to deal with who knows who and who has the contact with who's a Democrat, who's not a Democrat. We understand that game. We played this before. So we want Pete Barrera. He lives in Westchester County, and hopefully he'll be watching News 12 and FiOS tonight to see that we need him to come in Mount Vernon and clean this mess up. Because if he doesn't, it's affecting everybody in this city, and the people will lose the trust in city government, and we don't want that. We do not want that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Man.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. My name is Wabit Sashem Amun. Where I get that name from, no one knows. But only the angel gave me that name. I am from the Nuwabian nation. And every year we used to go and worship our teacher's birthday in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know how many people know the Nuwabian nation. We are Nuwabians. And they raided the place with helicopters and they locked up my teacher, and he's in jail right now. And he was a reality for all of us black people to get together and